STEM is what we can see on the screen. Is a fusion of four powerful disciplines, not subjects, disciplines, and not subjects. So S stands for for science, T stands for technology, E stands for engineering, and M stands for mathematics. So STEM is introduced to promote an integrated curriculum for modern workforce needs. You know, when we say the needs of the modern workforce, the needs of the modern industry, we all know that nobody just goes to school to go and be preparing food in the kitchen. Nope. Nobody goes to school to just sit down and be looking. The main primary aim of going for a formal education is to fit in as a workforce sometimes later. To fit in as a workforce sometimes later. That is the essence of coming to school. Of having even somebody, yes, fit in. So now, one of the aims of STEM is kind of preparing children ahead of time for the future of work. And you know one thing, people do mistake. People do mistake the four science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to be subjects. We'll get there. But I'll be able to tell you now that it is bringing work experience. STEM is a way of bringing work experience that children are going to find themselves in later in life, to bringing it into their lives in the present, to their lives when they are even in the pre-tertiary institution. That is the aim. So and this STEM, they are interconnected disciplines. Now everyone's brain has two cerebral hemispheres. We have the left cerebrum and the right cerebrum. Now the left cerebrum processes many things, among which is technical things, mathematical things, complex things, difficult things, not too pleasant things. That's what the left cerebral hemisphere processes. While the right cerebral hemisphere processes as against technical things. Right cerebral hemisphere processes trivial things, not technical, trivial things. These are so simple. As against mathematical things, yes, technical for the left cerebral hemisphere, trivia for the right cerebral hemisphere, mathematical in the left cerebral hemisphere, linguistics or languages in the right cerebral hemisphere. So I've mentioned technical, I've mentioned mathematics, scientific things, while art things are processed in the right cerebral hemisphere, scientific things are processed in the left cerebral hemisphere. Now, the word you see here, look at the screen, please. This one that I highlighted, interconnected, four interconnected disciplines. You see the STEM, each of them are in the same category, or the same department, even in a school. You can group them as under science department, never under arts. I know why I'm saying this one to us, because I'm going to get somewhere. They are interrelated, they are interconnected. One have said that each of them is not a subject, then that there are disciplines, and again, they are interconnected. Science looks like technology, is part of technology. Technology is part of engineering. Maths drives all of them, the first three. So, and then inside science, we use mathematics, we use all those things like that. So they are interconnected. So now let's go to the next thing. What is the origin of STEM? The origin, the origin of STEM, the origin of STEM. Please, if you're using your phone to follow me to join this session, make sure that your phone you you let it be standing on the side. Okay, let it not be standing upright, let it be standing on this, let it be standing on landscape mode. Yeah. So origin of STEM. You can see what is that's simple table. How did STEM start? How did it start? How did STEM start? You can see it here right there. Now, the issue of STEM or no STEM did not start yesterday. Things that looked like it could be found in 1862. 1862, yeah, 1862. When, you know, um, and it is around during the Memorial Act, all right, that's talking about establishing land grant universities and universities that focused on agriculture and engineering. So, and that one laid foundations for practical education and accessible education. So now that was it. So something like it. You can see agriculture and engineering as the focus then inside formal education. Then later in 1957, for the what we call Sputnik launch, right? That is related to NASA. NASA is one of the biggest American mathematical, scientific, and technological establishment. So the Sputnik launch at NASA, Sputnik launch, it brought about U.S. as a country investing in science and math education more than before. So the first one in 1862 under Memorial Act, you can see there engineering came up there. In 1957, under Sputnik launch, we see here now science and math education, emphasis on them, huge investment on them. And that was what brought about NASA creation. Those people that did a lot of calculations, a lot of invention, a lot of creativity on how to go and explore the outer space. And also the issue of investing massively on science and math education also brought about brought about creation of NASA as well as creation of National Defense Education Act. Later, in the 90s, between in the 90s to year 2001, there's an acronym that came up in the 1990s. So it is called SMET. You can see it there, SMET. So, and then they really called Judith Ramaley rearranged SMET to look like something, something easier to remember, to commit to memory. So Judith Ramaley rearranged SMET to become STEM. That was, I got it happened in the year 2001. Then from 2000s till now, we have the STEM framework, trying to evolve. So initially, they were in segmented disciplines. Forget about what I put here. Subject. Sorry for that. Segmented meaning distant one and one. science on its own, maths on its own, engineering on its own, technology on its own. Then now it is being changed, modified to become an integrated approach that will focus, that will be started inside pre-tertiary learning as well as university level learning. There's a STEM program in university, please. There's also one because women in STEM. So girls that learn STEM in their secondary school, primary school, they have opportunity of enjoying free full scholarships in university in some areas of the US that offer STEM related programs in the university. So now STEM as an approach to teaching now being integrated. Look at my cursor here. Into teaching in order to foster or to promote critical thinking and solving real world problems right there in the classroom. Right there in the classroom. Let me jump the gun here. Let me say critical thinking and real world problems. Let's talk about this topic under science. The topic is air. Okay, let me not choose. Let me choose. Okay, the topic is air. Air. Let me put up that one first. Under science. Why are the children learning that topic? Air. It's for them to just commit it into memory, be able to give definitions of what is air, mention or list components of air, features of air, how to identify clean air, and also uses of air. So that if you ask a child what is air or constituents of or components of air, uses of air, it would tell you. But if the child tells you, is that all there is to be about air? Now, STEM has the power to say, let us go beyond just knowing about air to think, look at my screen, to think critically, critical thinking of what air, how air is useful, or how air affects the child's life now, not in the future, now. How air is useful to the child now, how air can be managed by the child now and for the child now, and how the child can put air to use at this age. Let's say the child is 7 years old or 6 years old or in the lower secondary, all right? So it makes the teacher first to be a critical thinker, to take the usual way we teach children, to take it higher than that, or sorry, deeper than that, beyond just definitions and understanding. So how it relates, that's then can we also use air to solve problems in real life? So the topic air under science is going to go beyond that. Now from there, let's go into home economics. For home economics, okay, now for the real world problems, let me stay on air for now. Is there a problem at all in that child's life, or in the lives of people around that child, that air can be used? You see what's on my screen? Focusing on critical thinking and real world problem solving. That's what I'm talking about now. Not creating things with cardboard. Nope. Real world problem solving. They want every child to learn in a way that STEM will push the learning deeper and farther to life application on almost every topic. So the teacher is going to think critically as well as the child thinking critically. Now, going back to science, primary science, topic is air. We've seen how critical thinking can help us to go into how AI can be used in solving real-life problems. You think now, how can AI as a topic be tailored further and deeper into what will become a topic that the child has learned that will lead to the child learning that topic that very week, and then he can use that topic to solve real life problems anytime it arises. How? AIR. Oh, yeah. The child plays football. Oh, yeah. The child and his friends have bicycles. Oh, yeah. Thinking critically, AI can be used to solve these real life problems in the children's lives, pumping the ball and pumping their tire. All right. So on that, then for that's on the reward problem solving. Using air to pump tires. Now, are there more real problems that this topic can be used to solve? For upper primary now, the same topic coming up upper primary, there will be a new problem to solve again in real life. For instance, you know that gas fire won't just start. There will be smell in the air. So the topic will now tell the child, come, we say components of air are oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and rare gases. None of these ones smell. Oh. So anytime you are somewhere and you can perceive a smell in the air, and it's not a smell from the toilet, be wary. So that you will not have problem of you having burns or the house getting burnt. So the topic goes beyond what the textbooks say to what life says. Okay? So that is where it becomes integrated approach, focusing on critical thinking and problem solving. And now, by 2009, there are clamors. There are clamors that come, oh, we no go gree, oh, no go gree, oh. Please, we are art people. You must put art inside. So there was a time that they said it's no longer STEM, it's STEAM. After a while, some years back, few years back, other people too came inside and they said they want to put R inside. That R is religion. So it goes from STEM to STEAM, from STEAM to STREAM. Then recently, the current Minister of Education, Dr. Lausa, has brought his own. It is STEM as in double M at the end of it. I don't know what the second M means. STEM, STMM. Now, remember what I said earlier up here? Four interconnected disciplines. That's what I said. Interconnected disciplines, the four of them. So there's no way art is connected to science, technology, engineering, and maths. They don't go together. Because from what I told you about the two cerebral hemispheres, art issues are not processed in the same hemisphere as science, technical, engineering, and mathematics issues. And I'll tell us more on why STEM. What we say, can we go tell you now? Interconnected. Now, there is this phobia about science, about technology, about engineering and math. Even some of us that are here tonight, we are still afraid of technology. We're still afraid of technology. My screen display. Okay, is my screen moving now, please, Madam Ofolake? Is my screen moving now? Yeah. Is my screen moving now, please? Like what can you see my screen now? I want to continue. Is my screen still moving? Okay, thank you very much. So what's on my screen now? The topic on my screen now, please. Okay, let me see it. Yeah, what is the topic of my screen now? The header, the header of my screen. Can you see origins and evolution of STEM on my screen? Say yes, I can see. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good. That means we are moving. Good. Thank you for that prompting, ma. So, um, now what am I trying to say is this: there's no connectedness, there's no interconnection between STEM and art, or between STEM and religion at all. The origin, I've told you that it was SMET that was being changed, that was being rearranged. Sorry, excuse me, I have a little kata. That was being rearranged to form STEM. You don't need to put any other thing inside. And the reason behind that, I've already explained to us earlier, is because so the argument to integrate art is still ongoing, all right? It's still ongoing. It's still ongoing. So meanwhile, some people are already they're already putting it there anyway. So that doesn't concern me. I don't know. That's too many at all. Because it does not at all connect to STEM. So the debate is on. Now let's go to that what concerns us anyway. What is the psychology of STEM framework? STEM is a framework. To start with, let me highlight this for us. STEM is not a list of subjects, which I've said earlier. It is not a list of subjects. And also, STEM is not a curriculum. It is not a list of subjects. It's a list of interconnected disciplines. Science discipline, not science as science we do in primary and secondary. Uh, Technology, not as in ICT that we do. No, not like in basic technology. No, because Omicron also has STEM inside. It's not talking about that. So STEM is not a subject to be taught as a standalone. No, never. That is one error many schools make. I go about a lot. I go around a lot the country, and people are making that mistake several times. I have some client schools that I even told them, "Come, you don't teach them as a subject." I say in the timetable we have STEM 2 periods. What are you teaching inside STEM? It is not a subject. Does not have curriculum. Does not have topics inside. No, STEM doesn't have topics. STEM is simply an approach to education, approach to teaching and learning. Excuse me. It's what you can see here. It's an approach, it's an how to teach as different from what you are used to. So STEM is what? Is not a curriculum. It's not a subject. It doesn't have curriculum. It's not a subject. It doesn't have a curriculum. But it is an approach to teaching and learning. Number one. Number two, it's also a learning framework. We all have frames in our houses. The frame that holds your windows, the frame that hold, the frames that hold your door, the frames that hold your bed, the frame that hold your settee. Framework. That's that thing that you can pack other things in that to give the shape of the frame. So we call it a framework because we want learning to be STEM-like or to be STEM-based, to have STEM in it, to look like STEM, to reflect science, technology, engineering, and math. So it's a framework. And number three, call, STEM is also like a mold. Let me show you what a mold looks like. Look at it here. see the mode here. I can see the mode. Give me a chart. Give me just say I can see the mode. Before I continue, say I can see the mode. This is what a STEM is, right? So when you're bringing in home economics, you teach it the way STEM will shape it. You shape it into STEM. You pour it into STEM so that I can have STEM shape. When you're bringing in nursery science, thank you. When you're bringing in nursery science, you pour it inside STEM so that it can have STEM learning outcome. When you're bringing in English language, now don't forget, that is also telling you that STEM is not a subject because English language enter inside. Whereas English language is not science-based, it's not technology-based, it's not engineering-based, it's not management-based. So then if also you are bringing in biology or even CRS, you can see CRS on the mode. You point inside STEM as a mode. You allow STEM to shape the learning outcome. You know, when you pour, you can see wet cement being poured into that mode. When you pour wet cement into a mode, it will come out in the shape of the mode. So we want learning outcomes of all subjects, not only science subjects, all subjects, including civic education, including government, social studies, home economics, mention of the business studies, accounting, commerce, no, home nutrition. Sorry, uh, food and nutrition. All of them, either science subject or no science subject, everybody, all of them should be put inside this STEM as more so that the learning outcome will not be learning outcome that we are used to, but a STEM-like or a STEM learning outcome. And the reason for it is what we already learned earlier. That let me go because of people that just came in. The reason is that we want the learning outcomes we'll be having not to be just head knowledge, but the one that will be able to be useful, that children will be prepared for the workforce they are going to in the future, right now. All right. So now, as I said earlier, STEM is never meant to be taught like a subject. Does not have anything, any space inside the timetable. It is all subject that will be reflecting STEM. That is why a school has to be trained on STEM integration into teaching and learning, which is a training will be coming up by God's grace. Come, I don't know whether I think it will be either January or maybe I don't know, for the end of this year. So please just be on the lookout. So STEM is, I told us before, STEM is what? It's an integrated teaching approach. All right. And look at this. It is meant to bridge, listen to very well, to bridge ability, physical and mental worlds. Sometimes you're teaching children some topics, they begin to imagine mentally, what is this one talking about? This one said, what's even the relevance to my life? This, that. But it bridges the gap. It helps the children to stop imagining and begin to see relevance because it's when they see relevance of the topic in their lives, especially not in the future. Now, okay, especially now, that is when they will give you more attention. For instance, if a child knows that a topic in science, that topic I've mentioned before, air, is going to solve problems in his life now, he will give more attention. Some of us, we don't like mathematics, not because we don't have brains for it as we believe. It is because we don't like maths because the way the teacher is teaching us mathematics did not show us that maths has any relevance in our lives at all. If a child knows that maths has relevance in his life, he will give his attention to mathematics. For instance, now look at we learned profit and loss as a topic under mathematics. And no teacher has ever told us that, come on, this topic is for you that by the time you want to sell little things now at your age or when you grow up, it is for you. The outcome of that topic, profit and loss, is that at the end of this lesson, learners will be able to maximize their profit and prevent losses. That should be the topic, not define profit, define loss, find percentage profit. Find it for what? To what extent? To what relevance? But if the learning objectives are fashioned in a way that a child can see, oh, I can even help my mommy at home. Oh. Like for instance, now I do tell many school owners that come, check your account, your school account, and millions of naira there. Excuse me, ma, excuse me, sir. How in that millions of naira, how much is your profit there? Not many school owners can answer that question. They see millions, they are so happy. That's why some of them end up not, despite seeing million, they're not able to pay teachers school fees because by the time they do this, do that, they're not sending it again. Okay, so but if the teacher then when they are still young, little ones, told them to come home. If you become a school owner, you need to know your cost price and selling price, and then your profit, so that you know whether you are running at a loss or running on profit. That consciousness. Do you get what I'm saying now? So the approach, so all subject fits into STEM, and then the other I'm still discussing the STEM as a approach that come. It is being used to, it is being integrated, embedded, being inserted into how we teach so that the outcome will be different from what we are used to. And look at those words that are make bolder and bigger. It's meant to bridge children imaginations to see realities in every topic they learn. For instance, why should a child learn the topic wood polish under home economics? Wood polish. It's because at the end of that topic, every wooden item in their house that is becoming moldy, that is no longer shiny, the child should be able within that very week to to do some scientific things. What is that? Mixing soot plus wax plus oil plus this and that, using science to produce polish. I think you have seen that science has come in now in shadow economics. And then, how much of bleach oil is needed? How much of soot is needed? How much of wax is needed? Inside each of this, to prepare this polish, math has come in there. You can see now that you do not agree with me that STEM comes in every subject according to this thing. So now, if a child is able to know that, oh, I need science here, I need maths here to even produce polish, they will begin to love maths more. So the aim of STEM is to seamlessly, intentionally, and quickly integrate science, technology, engineering, and maths as disciplines into non-technical subjects. Next thing, let me quickly define for us what's an integrated curriculum. It is a teaching approach that combines different subject areas into one single cohesive learning experience instead of teaching them as separate topics. So now let's talk. So another beautiful thing about STEM is that it places skills above knowledge. That's one thing we are still struggling with in Nigeria. And you can see what I've given to us now. I've already explained it to us. Skills above knowledge. Teach children that learn about wood polish as a topic inside home economics as a subject. And at the end of the day, the only thing they know, the only thing they got from the teacher is that they can define how a wood polish. They can list, what do you call it, items used in doing wood polish, and they can state use of wood polish. But when they got to their house, they have the knowledge. But in their house, because that wood polish can help prevent rots in the bathroom. When your bathroom door is wood form, and you pour water all the time, what happens? It begins to rot. And the child has learned wood polish, but he doesn't have that skill to say, the knowledge I gained about wood polish, as you convert it to skill to preserve the wooden doors in my bathroom. And the bathroom begin to have holes, have mold, have mushroom, all those things. And even the table too is no longer shiny. The doors are no longer shiny. So if the child is being taught in a way that, okay, yes, get knowledge, but you must also acquire skill within that week. So STEM, putting teaching delivery, teaching, listen, putting uh pouring or putting teaching learning objectives, teaching delivery, and assessment inside STEM framework, STEM approach, which we easily help learning outcome to move away from just acquiring knowledge to acquiring skills that the child can use in the now. Yes, they can use in the now. That was why robotics came in some time ago. Because schools are not getting what I'm saying right. They are not getting it right. They're not at all getting it right. There are many schools that claim that they are running STEM, and you cannot see anything that is STEM at all about them. When they teach their maths, there's no STEM inside. When they teach their English, when they teach their social studies, when they teach their physics, chemistry, biology, when they teach their government, CRS, literature, English language, when they teach their music, PHE, nothing at all STEM inside. Because the outcomes, learning outcomes they are still getting, even though they claim to be a STEM school, learning outcome they're coming with is still the same thing. Knowledge is still the learning outcome. And you know one thing, I always say it in my trainings, knowledge takes you nowhere. I'm telling you, in this life that we are, only skills take somebody somewhere. That is why you realize that despite somebody coming out with 8 straight A's in secondary school and then get to the university and came out with first class, if you carry the knowledge certificate all over the place, at the end of the day, it is Obikubana that will employ them. Because Obikubana has skills in accounting, skills in commerce, skills in business studies, skills in economics, and skills in science. But he no get certificate for knowledge in them. If only we can make our schools to be STEM based and understanding how to run STEM, our children, when they come out in flying colors, will never work under an illiterate. It will never happen. They will be both brilliant and also skillful. You can see them all over the world. Bill Gates, it is skills that put him where he is. And he employs people who are highly knowledgeable. But he has the skill. We have more of them also in Nigeria. We have Dangote. He has skills, business skills, money handling, business skills, personal handling, personal skills. That's why you can see he employs professors to come around these things. But these are happening because we are not having a balanced learning outcome. Learning outcome that will be a balance of knowledge and skills together. It's only knowledge we are producing in Africa. So STEM helps our school to have a different learning outcome that will position children to have knowledge, high level of knowledge, but a higher level of skills that will back up knowledge. So in every topic they learn, STEM helps us. Just like one of my research program called KLA, kinesthetic learning strategies or learning approach. It says skill above knowledge. It's also like British curriculum. British curriculum says skill above knowledge. But sorry, it says skills above knowledge. STEM says skills above knowledge. But we want to produce children that actually have skills above knowledge, but we don't know how to. STEM helps us. Well, tonight's training is not going to go too deep because this is to sensitize you, to help you understand that you need STEM. Also, in case you're already running STEM in your school, for people who are not still running STEM in their schools, so that you know that you are getting it right, we are not getting it right, so that you'll be able to go back to your school and use what you're going to learn tonight to drive STEM approach better. I'm sure some of you already have this training and you're already on STEM in your school. And for people who don't have an idea at all what STEM is all about, so that when we're going to organize our next program, most probably, I'm not sure it will be this year again because this year has ended, but we can still do it this year. It's going to be a 3 days program, it's going to be online. We can do online this year. If you want us to do online this year on STEM, how to use STEM to drive teaching and get skill-based learning outcome. You can put it there in the chat box. Say, I like it. I would like to attend the paid version this year or next year. You can say this year. You can say next year. So that we'll have a little poll. Now, talking about what do you call it? The psychology of STEM framework. The first psychology we talk about is that STEM is not a subject. When we say psychology, say the psyche, okay, how STEM work on people's mind, okay, what we want STEM to do on children's mind, that's psychology. Talk about the first one, STEM is not a subject. Second one, STEM is an integrated approach. And the third one is skill, STEM, say skill above knowledge. That's the psychology behind it. And the last one on this one is that is ease